How are you? Hope everything is fine. Today we are going to study lesson 3, Money. Class 11, lesson 3, Money, Maharashtra board. What I am holding? This is money. Now, you must have heard that in olden days there used to happen exchange, but there wasn't any money. This Indian currency rupee note wasn't there. Many years back, during our king's time, queen's time, and even before that, what used to happen? There used to be exchange of goods. See, if I purchase something from you, if I take something from you, will you give me free? No. In return, I have to give you value of it. If I purchase this basket from some shopkeeper, will he give me free of cost? No. Either I have to give him money as so decided, the value of the basket, or I have to give something in exchange. What the value? That is, if we give goods, commodities in exchange, animals, plant, anything in exchange, instead of paying in money, that is barter system. In olden days, if a person had mangoes and B person had bananas, right? Then if A wants to purchase bananas, A will give mangoes in return. And if B wants to get mangoes, then we'll give bananas in return. So commodities are exchanged. This is barter system which used to be applicable in the olden times. In this chapter, we are going to study why this paper note came into existence when there was a barter system. The evolution of paper money, the evolution of money, the stages of money, reasons why the money undergone so many cycles, steps, stages, and then we come up with this. And now the electronic money came into being. Then in this chapter of money, we are going to study why do we regard particular thing as money? Why don't we regard everything as money? What is the money? Got it? So, in this barter system where commodities are exchanged, like if somebody wants wheat, will give his own commodity to other person and get wheat in return. In this case, both the parties should have commodities with them, then only the exchange could happen. This is the barter system. Now, by understanding this, many things would have come in your mind. Every person doesn't know a commodity. Does that? So, in barter system, if somebody is not having any commodity to exchange, will not be able to purchase something. There are many difficulties in the barter system which we will come one by one. Difficulties of barter system. Barter system. Now, first difficulty is problem of double coincidence of wants. Now, what does this mean? Problem of double coincidence dense of wants. Now, whenever this term comes across, you come across, this means here A person and there is a B person, two people. A wanted to purchase bananas, give mangoes to him. In return, he got bananas. But what if B says, I do not want mangoes? If B refuses that I do not want mangoes, then there will be problem of double coincidence of wants. There is no coincidence between them that they coincidentally want, he wants mangoes and he wants banana and they can be exchanged. No, he denied. In case he denies that I do not want mangoes, there will be difficulty in the exchange of bananas, exchange of mangoes. He will not be able to get bananas because if B refuses that I do not want your product, then bananas, how will he purchase bananas? So there is a problem of double coincidence of wants in barter system. This is a one problem. Second, lack of common measure. Lack of common measure of value. Common. See kids, when I teach you, you can understand on the spot. You should be able to learn on the spot. Rewatch the videos so that while writing in your examination, points come in your mind on its own. Just like the video, one by one, the reel moves in the mind. Common measure of value. Now what does this mean by? Now see, there is a person named Boona. Right? And there is a person Nitin. And another person is Anita. Boona has 1 kg of milk. He needs rice. And Anita has rice. 1 kg of rice with Nitin has 1 kg of rice. Boona has 1 kg of milk. And Anita has 2 kgs of rice. Now, lack of common measure. See, in order, if he sells 1 kg of milk to Anita, Anita says, I will not give you 1 kg of milk. I will not purchase 1 kg of milk from you because I have 2 kgs of rice with me and I want to sell only 2 kgs of rice. So, Boona Anita says, I want 3 kg of milk for 2 kgs of rice. And Nitin says, I will purchase 1 kg of milk for 1 kg of rice. So, there is a measurement difference. There is a common measure of value difference. For Anita, the value is 3 kg for 2 kg of rice. For Boona, for Nitin, 1 kg of milk is okay for 1 kg rice. So there is no common measure of value. And secondly, there is no unit of barter system. Suppose 1 kg of milk is rupees 20. So there is a measure, a common measure, a consistent measure for exchange. Where in barter system, it is just verbally. See, Anita will purchase 3 kg milk for 2 kg rice. Nitin, 1 kg rice for 1 kg milk. Is there any measure? Is the barter system in liters? No. Kgs? No. Rupees? No. It is just a verbal and a value system in the mind, which is quite subjective in nature. It may vary person to person, like in case Nitin and Anita. Right. So, there is a lack of common measure of value. Okay. Then, what happens? There is difficulty in storage of goods. Difficulty in storage of goods means, see, the goods in the barter system are perishable goods, likely to be perishable goods. Like in this case, mangoes and bananas. Aren't they perishable? We have to consume within days. So, either we have to keep it in the cold places, or they are perishable. Even then they will get spoiled. So, the difficulty in storage of goods in barter system, because here we are talking about barter system. Alright, barter system, here commodities are talked about. Here commodities are exchanged. The commodities can be bulky, can be precious, can have difficulty in storage, can be perishable. In case of eatables, if the commodities are eatables, then they are quite perishable in nature. Perishable means likely to get exhausted, likely to get stale, likely to get spoiled. Right? So the third problem is storage problem. And storage problem is due to problem in barter system. Due to bulkiness of the goods, due to heavy goods. Now if heavy goods are to be exchanged, they have to be stored. Space required. Right? Then, perishable nature. In this case, mangoes and banana, they are perishable. Vegetables are perishable. So, they have to be consumed and they have to be exchanged within very small duration of time. That is why barter system isn't that successful. The third point is storage problem. We will come with the fourth point. Got it? We are doing difficulties in barter system due to which money came into being. Right? Then, indivisibility of goods. Fourth is indivisibility of goods in barter system. Now what happens? There is a person A and there is a person B. B person has a goat, right? And A person has a sack of wheat. Now, B person wants wheat, but A person says that I want half of the goat. I do not want that bulky thing. I want little bit of goat for my nourishment, for food, for my meal. Is it possible to divide goat? No. Here, in many cases, dividing the goods is very difficult. So that is the reason the barter system is indivisible in nature. In many cases. In another example, I can explain you. If B wants a sack of wheat, but A says, I will give you wheat, but I don't want to sell you B says I want half sack of wheat. So divisibility is very difficult in this case. For half sack of wheat, can he give his whole goat to A? I am taking the other example where B is a person who wants only half sack. Half sack of wheat. But will he be able to give his goat, because goat is an animal and it is indivisible, can B give it to A for such a half sack of wheat? Very difficult. Even if they do, there is no worth. The worth assigned is not proper. Right? So this is indivisible nature, and the fifth one is problem of making deferred payment. In barter system, problem of making deferred payment is there. Problem. Deferred payment. What is a deferred payment? In commerce, in economics, we happen to learn about mode of payments, mechanisms in financial management and many other things. Here, deferred payment means deferred. Deferred payment means payment in future. See, in business, payment doesn't happen on the spot only. People have signed a contract that after 1 month we will pay, after 15 days we will pay. Sometimes on the counter the payment is done. But in big businesses, you pay later. Like the school fees you pay later, and sometimes in advance you pay. And sometimes in the call you give instructions to your bank, and then your school fee or college fees are paid. Standing instructions are given to bank. Whenever that date comes, automatically the account makes the payment. The bank makes the payment from your account. So that is deferred payment, which you pay on later date. Right? When there is a barter system, fifth point, what happens? First, the goods are perishable in nature, indivisible in nature, and then making payment in future isn't possible because of perishable nature of goods. Making exchange in goods isn't possible in making deferred payment. Suppose I have a mango tree, right? And you have an orange tree. You purchased mango from me. Will you be able to give me orange on the spot? No. You will say that when the oranges will grow, then I will be able to pay. First, there will be a wait to me. There is no surety. Right? And future payment, it's quite risky. So deferred payment, if had it been a monetary exchange, you could have signed a contract with me where you will say that, ma'am, I will pay you on the so and so date. Take the contract, take this bank instructions I have given, take the slip and see. There will be some legalized way. Payment, there is a problem in making deferred payment. Problem in making deferred payment. Problem in making deferred payment. Got it? The future payments are difficult because goods are perishable in nature. So you can't store your mangoes so that during winter season when oranges will grow, I will give you mangoes and take in return oranges. Because goods are perishable in nature, it isn't possible. Right? So these are the difficulties in the barter system. Because there are difficulties in the barter system, that is the reason why money concept came into being. The level, the mode, the way of exchange became money. Got it? So, we will study what is money. Money. What is money? It is a piece of paper. What is money? Most valuable thing. What is the money? Money is something which is acceptable to both the parties. Me and you. We are doing some deal of purchasing a flat or purchasing a land. I say I'll purchase your land, agricultural land. At wholesome I will pay you 50,000 rupees, 50,000. Those rupees are acceptable to you. The exchange from my side is acceptable to you. That is anything which is acceptable to the other party. And why will you accept that? Because you feel the exchange which is done by the party has a value. You feel the money has a value. You can store for many days and you will still feel the store of money is a value to you. You realize value in your realize value by the exchange. First, there must be acceptance to you. Secondly, whatever is exchanged, that has some value in your mind or psychology. Thirdly, it is a store. If you store it, then it is a store of value. Now, there are people who have bulky accounts in the bank. What they feel? They feel value in them. Psychology, their confidence is boost because they have money and they feel power in money. They must have earned by some exchange of. They must have rendered services. They must have rendered service, or they must have sold their product, and then they earned money, which they regard what? Valuable item, which they have kept in the bank, and they feel it is valuable. So, Crowther gives the definition. Money is anything. Crowther. You have to learn while writing about money. In long question answers, if people write about money, types of money, so you should give first the introduction, what we are discussing, then give points, description, and then give at the last some note about what you have described, just like an essay, right? According to Crowther, money is anything that generally acceptable as a means of exchange. First thing, it should be accepted as a means of exchange. Means of exchange means if I purchase mangoes from B, bananas from B, bananas. If A purchase, A will give money to him in the currency. Suppose if we are in India, the currency is rupees. If we are in USA, the currency will be in dollar. In the will be acceptable mode, money will be accepted as a means of exchange. It will be accepted by B, it will be accepted by A, right? It will be means measure and a store of value, and at the same time he will regard as a measure of value. He will regard measure of value and store of value. I told you now, in the bank what happens, we store the money and we feel confident because money has a value. We feel money has a value. That's why when we sell things, when I'm teaching you, I get money. So getting money, I regard money. It is acceptable mode to me. I feel valuable. Then only if I say money is not valuable to me, then what I will get in exchange? Mangoes, tomatoes, potatoes? No. The most acceptable mode is money. Right? Means of exchange, and at the same time, act as a measure of value or store of value. I have explained you with the examples. Money is anything that is generally acceptable as a means of exchange, and at the same time act as a measure or store of value. Right? It is given by Crowther. It is given in the book. You can see. Okay, you can read it. The two measure thing, it should be valuable to the person it is being said. It should be acceptable to the person to whom it is said. It should be valuable, acceptable to the person who is sending also. Right? Then, now what happens? The money which you see, it has undergone many changes. There came coins, gold coins, there came barter system, then gold coins, silver coins, then kingdom. The people who were kings, they had imprinted coins by their name and face. You must have seen olden coins in the museum where king, lord, fort, like this British time, these coins were applicable, where coins had imprint or that design of that king and the name was written. So after that came this money, and now electronic money. Money is what you see is due to the evolution in the past. Money is a result of changes in exchange. There happened to be exchange, but there happened to be few changes due to which money undergone changes. So the stages of money or evolution of money or types of money we will do. Types of money. First is animal money. Animal money, I explained you. Animals were exchanged. Cattle were exchanged. Animal money, which is a form of barter system. Right? But exchanging animal, I told you, everyone should have animal then. Right? Everyone should have goat, buffaloes. Was it possible? No. Then came commodity. After that came commodity money. In commodity money, grains, food grains were exchanged. Elephant tusk, we all know tusk of elephants. They are very expensive. Outer teeth of elephants. stones, precious stones. Salt. Salt was a very pepper. Salt, pepper, due to which the food couldn't be made. They were very expensive in olden times. That time, commodity money were in operation. Commodity money were used. Commodity means exchanging of goods. Now what I am teaching you? Grains, tusk, stone. Right? These are very rare. Feathers of rare birds. So these are rare commodities. Can everybody have rare things? No. So those who had rare things, they were presumed to be rich. Climatic conditions. The few things are dependent on climatic conditions. Right? Grains are climatic conditions. Tusks are rare things. So, problem of storing these things and being dependent on climate, and plus they were rare things. This gave rise to another level of money, that is metal money. It wasn't possible for everyone to have rare things. Not possible for having rare things, precious things. Not possible. Rare things, climatic prone things. Climate played a very important role. So anybody who's having them, they could make exchange. Other remain dependent upon killing animals in the jungles, living very savage life, uncivilized life, due to which metallic money came into being. Now what is metallic money? The third form of money is metallic money. Metallic money is money. In exchange, we used to do metals exchange. Metals used to get exchanged. Right? Metal. Metallic money. Metals used to get exchanged. There used to be gold, aluminium, silver, copper, nickel. Those things used to, I have nickel, you have copper, let's exchange. I have gold, you have nickel, silver, let's exchange. But there wasn't any uniformity. Can you imagine silver being exchanged with the gold? Roughly they used to say, okay, this much gram, okay, let's exchange. Okay, this much, let's exchange. Sometimes the size of gold used to be this much and silver this much, and because both the parties required the goods, there used to be exchange. There wasn't any uniformity. No uniformity was there. And you see, gold, silver, copper, they are very precious metal. Very precious. Gold, silver, and etc. They are precious. Precious metals exchange. Storage problems, scarcity was a problem. Lack of uniformity was a problem, due to which another level came of money, exchange of money, metallic coins. Then that gave a era in which metallic coins were made. Metallic coins. During British time, I told you, kings, this thing were imprinted on the coins. Right? King during kingdom time, during their kingdom time, to what extent their kingdom were, within those kingdom, within those kingdoms, there used to be exchange of their own currency coins, that is metallic coins, in which their king photo was there, imprint was there. Hence there wasn't any uniformity, and because uniformity between the nations were states weren't there within the country. But let's study what are metallic coins in full bodied coin. Full bodied coins. Metallic coins is full bodied coins, and second is token coins. Full bodied coins is gold coin. If there is a gold coin, there used to be coins, but if there is a gold coin, if 2 gram gold coin, 2 gram gold coin, understand, rupees, if the rupee 2 gram gold coin had a value of let's say rupees 300. If 2 gram gold coin, in market value of 2 gram gold coin is 300, gold is 300, 2 gram gold is 300, then it's on the face also rupees 300 will be the face value. That is, when there will be exchange, the exchange will be according to the value of the metal. What is the market rate of the coin? Suppose silver, what is the market rate of the silver? Accordingly, the coin will be the value of the coin. What is the market rate of the gold coin? That will be the value of the gold coin. Right? So, face value will be same in full bodied coin. The face value is same as of intrinsic value of coin. It is in which case full bodied coins are those coins which are also known as standard coins. Standard matlab the rate is set, the rate is according to the market value of the material used, the material of which the coin is made. Like, what is the gold? If it is a gold, it will be exchanged for a good which is of the market value of this gold coin. Right? The face value of the coin is same as the intrinsic value. Intrinsic value means the quality of the material value and its face value will be same. So anybody who makes an exchange will be according to the intrinsic value of the gold, of the coin. Got it? Then in token coin, the face value will was more than intrinsic value. Nowadays, the coins which we use, they are made up of aluminum and nickel. The coins which we use, rupee 1. The intrinsic value of the coin is less. That means aluminum or nickel used in making this coin, the rate of aluminum and nickel used to make this coin will be less than the face value. If this coin is converted into 100 rupee, do you think to make this coin 100 rupee cost initiated? No. The intrinsic value, the cost of the material cost, nickel cost or aluminum cost is 100 rupee? No. But one can do it. One can imprint more face value of the coin more than its intrinsic value. Now, generally, these coins are lower in denomination. Here I have shown you 1 rupee. Now I am going to show you 5 rupee note coin. Generally, they are small denomination coins. 1 rupee, 5 rupee. For making small transactions, these coins are used. Alright, suppose you purchase a packet of chips 5 rupees. Suppose you will be giving 100 rupees note or you will be giving coin. Easy to give is 5. Right. So coins in circulation. So these coins rupee 1 and 2, they are being circulated by Government of India. And these coins in circulations are the token coins. Because their intrinsic value means made up of the material value is far less than the face value of the coin. Got it? This is token coin, which is part of metallic coins. Full bodied coins and token coin. Full bodied coins is face value and intrinsic values are same of the coin. Like we take gold from the bank. We take gold from the bank. We used to take gold biscuits from the bank. The value of the gold in the market, that much money we used to pay. What is the value of the gold in the market? And we used to get the biscuits of coin in olden times. So that is in full bodied or standard coins. Right? So this is metallic coins, and then we are going to study paper money.